Welcome to Gobster's latest video. Remember that the following is his opinions and may offend you. If you are, no one cares. Now let's get to it.
Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. We are really at that point, aren't we? There's obviously a justified protest in Epping. You may have seen it, where parents, grandparents are protesting at a local immigrant hotel. What a surprise. It's like it's a daily occurrence. But in any case, because one of their young children was sexually assaulted. And they're not happy. I get it. And this was, for all intents and purposes, a pretty peaceful demonstration. There wasn't any real aggro. Until, of course, a group of Stand Up to Racism arrived. Bussed in, all masked up, carrying the usual placards. And it was then the trouble started. So much so that people were jumping on police vehicles. Funnily enough, those who seem to be instigating those particular things also happen to be masked up. And then in the process of leaving, the police actually managed to run somebody over and didn't stop. Just carried on. You see, the agitators were busting. You see, the Southport riots, which has been proven on many videos, I'll see if I can get it and put it on this one, shows you it's the police, an instigator, who actually starts the Southport riots outside the mosque, deliberately engineered to do so. Epping, they bus in demonstrators, counter demonstrators, and it all goes Pete Tong. You see, it's all been done on purpose. It's all been done to create issues. Everything that's been done is on purpose, is calculated, and is deliberately pushing us to where most of us can see this going. But it's not just here. It's everywhere where there are white people. Australia, Spain, France, Portugal, Germany, everywhere. America now. Everywhere where there's white people. And if there aren't any white people, the other key ingredient, wherever there's Christians, they are attacked, persecuted, and in many cases murdered, to the complete silence of the world, because the media will not cover it. You see, there has been a systematic destruction of the Christian faith in this country. In fact, all over Europe. You're being told that God is non-existent. Yet, I think if you took the time and did the research, you'll see that the decline of Western society can be pretty much in line with the decline of Christianity and faith in the white populace. We live in a world where one faith has been deliberately attacked. I still think deliberately filled with paedophiles and everything else under the sun, to discredit the faith, but then replace it with another one. I've just been discussing this with Mrs. G. Mrs. G's not sleeping very well because she's just worried about everything, and not the world thing, just the fact that money's getting tight. It's going to get tighter. That we are making cutbacks as much as we can. And I'm sad to say that we're going away this August, and I think we've got one more in October. But if it keeps going the way it's going, that may be the last family holiday we have in a long time, because we just won't be able to afford to go. But we are being pushed and pushed and pushed. You see, Mrs. G said, well, how come this doesn't happen in Poland? Well, because Poland doesn't have anyone in there to cause division. the leaders of their government believe like the people do and work for the people and protect the people from trouble. That's why Poland is Poland. They haven't had the deliberate invasion of their country by government-sponsored immigration. I've said once before and I'll say it again. There are no gangs to smash because the gangs are the governments. As it turns out, an awful lot of the equipment, that the boats that they use to come across the channel illegally is supplied by companies in Germany. So they're the gangs. We have our government who will fly thousands of immigrants, smuggle them into the country using super injunctions and the Official Secrets Act to prevent anyone knowing. And as I said in that video, and I'll say again right now, how many more of these things are still going on right now? Just coming here to Morrison's today, I almost ran a black lad over who's clearly here new, and him and his brothers, because there's a little asylum hotel just there, well, not, yeah, asylum house just down there, and they're all on brand new electric scooters. Where I live is a fairly nice area, what it used to be. It's now full of Somalians and Muslims. People who just arrive out of nowhere, suddenly appear overnight. We're being replaced, we're being eliminated. I said to my wife, Mrs. G, why is it because I fly the Cross of St George and the Union Jack over my house that brands me as a racist? How come I can only wear an England cricket top when England are playing, because any other time I'm racist? How come I can only wear my England shirt when England are playing, but any other time I'm racist? Why is it such a monumental shame to fly the flags of my country, yet perfectly acceptable to fly the flag of Palestine? Why is my parliament full of Muslims who, no matter what's been spoken about, have to stand up and yell and shout about Gaza, who will block the expansion of Heathrow Airport, but then scream and shout about the fact that we need to pay for a new one to be built in Pakistan? They want civil war. They are pushing for civil war. They are bussing people in to cause aggro wherever they can. We are being insulted, attacked and replaced at every turn. You see, the rise in, and this may cause a little bit of issue, but I've gone past that point. The reason why there's been a rise in LGBTQ+ is nothing to do with people being gay or not knowing what gender they're in, and everything to do with reducing the white birth rate. See, all over Western Europe, the white birth rate is falling through the floor, whereas your Muslim birth rate and your third world birth rate is screaming up. You see, Christianity is a bad thing until it applies. For instance, a Muslim man here can have 3 wives and our government will pay for him to have 3 wives, but I can't have 3 wives because it breaks the law because of Christianity. We've had thousands of immigrants coming that cost 7 billion, which is at the same time as they were removing winter fuel allowances off our pensioners. When they have the audacity to want to remove PIP payments from a lot of people, don't get me wrong, there are some people who play the system, but they want to remove it from a lot of people because it costs too much money. But we'll spend 7 billion and God knows how much it costs for the super injunction and that, to prevent people realising that over 100,000 Afghanis who had fuck all to do with the British Army, let's be brutally honest, all they had to do was say they did and that was enough, are now in this country. We were lied to on a biblical scale. We have no room in our chest, as I've said before, for knives in the back. We're stabbed in the back constantly. Our government actively hates us. Our governments, and that includes the Tories, and will include Lib Dems and the Greens and Reform, will sell us out because they don't want the white Christian, especially Englishman, standing up for themselves. Because we may be slow, but when we wake up, my God, we are powerful. We are hated by our governments. We are hated by the World Economic Forum and every white country. Even Australia's getting it. They don't want white people left on this planet. They want a Asian Muslim belief. Ones that will do as they say. This is why they're not allowed to work. They can do whatever they want because it's done to wind you up. And it's working because we're losing it. This country literally is teetering on the edge. But they want the civil war because the civil war, they'll allow it to run for a bit until we're desperate. And then they'll come in all the ways to solve the problem. But it'll just mean you sacrificing your freedoms. I'm proud of my flags and I'm proud of my country. I'm not proud of the way it's going. I'm not proud of many people. And I'm not talking about my people who watch on here, my wonderful mother truckers, they know. But there are so many people who just sit watching fucking shite on the telly and grumbling in their first world problems and ignoring everything that's going on around them until it's too late. The govern me hardest. These are the people who bowed down to COVID. I'm actually quite surprised I've stayed quite cool over this because my blood is boiling. And I'm sure many of yours bloods are boiling. Something's going to happen. And when it does, we're going to descend into absolute chaos. I mean, it's pretty chaotic now, to be fair, but it's going to get worse. Any case, I need to go into Morrison's to buy some strawberries. Don't ask. Any case, I'm done. Way to support the channel down below. I shall look forward to catching you in the next one. So, Arnie, you pass on the words of wisdom.
Thank you for watching Gabs' latest video. If you enjoyed it, you could like and share. If you want to see more, you can subscribe. Then hit the notification bell. If YouTube doesn't delete it, you can try and let him know what you think in the comments section below. He will be back. Now, get to the chopper.